courtesy of Rocky, and of course more snowfall is going to be on the way for a lot of different locations. As a matter of fact, here is that wind gust report that I was just mentioning to you, 63 miles an hour, and of course we are anticipating to see some really big wind gusts still to come for a lot of different locations, even outside of Idaho. Now the winds around Salt Lake City have been just over 30 miles an hour, but it is already causing some of the snowfall that is working its way in to get blown around all over the place. So while the amounts are still what we're waiting on to really start adding up over the course of the day, it could look a little bit more impressive. Those snowfall rates may look like they're a little more heightened just because of what's going on due to the wind. And we're going to have a lot more windy scenarios setting up across Montana as well as Wyoming. Certainly going to be the case over into Colorado as our frontal boundary zips on by. Now the rain and the snowfall is certainly occurring for locations in the southern half of Utah. So this is where you'll want to watch out for a wintry mix off and on. And certainly that is something that we're gravitating towards letting you know more about in terms of a heads up across the Texas Panhandle, especially the northern end. And for those of you who are also going to be making your travels out across portions of Oklahoma as well as central Kansas, this is going to be a concern as we go into Monday. In terms of where we've got that wet weather, that's going to be across places like Arkansas, which we were definitely concerned about with, again, what we were focusing on with Q for also dealing with some icing. But the big bullseye with that certainly occurred in these locations, which are once again under a winter storm watch. The blizzard watches are in place across Colorado, and certainly areas of western Colorado could pick up in that 6 to 12 inch range. But clearly it is once more going to be Kansas that gets the brunt of Rocky right after dealing with Q digging in on you. All right, speaking of Q, we also have to talk about the dig in of the wet weather. The locations have been asking for help in navigating all of this, and certainly we're anticipating to hear more announcements from local city officials and governors as we see Rocky taking shape and taking more aim. So here is a look at what we're going to be focusing on for today. As we've been mentioning, certain cities like Salt Lake are ones that we'll be watching for that accumulation to still occur into tonight. And speaking of accumulation, not in terms of snowfall, but in terms of rainfall accumulation, southwestern Georgia, northern Florida got a lot of concern over flooding that's going to stretch all the way into tomorrow as that stalled out frontal boundary just basically does what it's doing. It's stalling out, hanging out, and therefore we get some additional rainfall into the picture. Into the picture for tomorrow, of course, the Q2 scenario, or Q-tip as I like to say. I've been joking about that. And we're going to see some icing, which is no joke for locations closer to the coastline, and then it's more of a snow event as you back up into the interior northeast. Speaking of the snow